Okay, so we are back on Oh For Real, and today is gonna be a very deep conversation. For me, today, the title of today's video is Millionaire Daddy Issues. Dun, dun, dun. This is a topic that I've been wanting to talk about and release for myself for the past, I don't even know. Ever since I turned 17. So I'm gonna let you guys finally dig into my life and get a part of me that I don't really tend to talk about with a lot of people. People that are close to me are aware of what's going on, but it's something that I've really become numb to. So I feel like it would be good for me to talk about it because it's something that I need to get off my chest and get out of my system. And then after moving forward, I feel like a lot of people will be able to relate because there are females in this world that have daddy issues or issues connecting with their dad. Maybe they never had a dad in their life or whatever the case may be. So we're going to talk about my story specifically. All right, so let's get to the video. For real? My parents actually were dating for a while, and then when they dated, then my mom got pregnant, and my dad was actively back and forth in cities because he traveled a lot. He worked in corporate America, so he was always moving around constantly. He actually, I'm not gonna drop too many names, but he was a big exec in companies, let's just throw it out there, like Nike, Fila, Adidas, that kind. He was always traveling, that was just his job. So, but he did make time for me. Meanwhile, they ended up just becoming a co-parenting situation. They never had any drama or beef between the two. I turned about, I believe, 2. He started dating my stepmom. And then when he dated my stepmom a couple years later, they got married when I turned, I believe, 5 or 6. So over the course of years, me growing up, he lived in multiple cities. He lived here, he lived in New York, he lived in Washington, D.C., he lived in Oregon, he lived in 5 cities in California. So my dad was always moving every couple of years. And then when I turned 7, my first brother was born. My stepmom had a boy. And 2 years later, she had another boy. So I have 2 half brothers. I have no sisters. I'm the oldest and I'm the only girl. My dad kind of was the type of dad where he didn't really know how to be a dad. You know how girls, some girls have a really tight bond with their dad? Me and my dad kind of never really had that where he lived. So I've been an unaccompanied minor on planes since I was 5. So I used to fly by myself all the time to go see him. My dad always lived in beautiful homes. They got bigger and bigger every year. Not to mention my stepmom is also extremely successful. She's an interior designer. She's also an artist. She paints. And she was a European shoe designer. So they both together made crazy money. The part that is crazy is the fact that my dad was solidly in my life all the way until I turned 17. So people that knew me growing up, they still ask me to this day oh, when's the last time you seen your dad? And it is now 2020 and I have not seen my dad in person, in the flesh, since 2008. We didn't have this huge blow up, falling out or anything like that. So when people ask me so why haven't you seen him? I really don't have an answer. So when I got pregnant with my son, and I broke the news to my dad, telling him that I was gonna have a baby, his reaction really wasn't excited, and I don't know if he was upset, he felt some type of way about it. I don't really know because his answer to me was really dry. Fun fact, When I had my daughter, my daughter's now 3, so I had my daughter in 2016.
I actually still to this day have not verbally told my dad that I was pregnant with my daughter, have a daughter, or anything. So
with my dad being as wealthy as he is, and this is not me looking for anything from my dad, because I've actually come to the conclusion that I'm just probably going to end up living maybe possibly the rest of my life not talking to him. I don't know. Did I do something wrong? Why would he just stop talking to me? Okay, y'all, sorry because my storage went out. I was shooting a video, so I have to pick back up from where I left off. But I was covering the fact that I really don't have closure on why my dad decided to stop talking to me. So it's something that I was really numb to it for a while. Like I went through like a whole bunch of stages of like the way that I felt about it. So first I was like really angry and I was just confused, like why would you kind of like abandon? So my senior year of high school, I was in a really bad car accident right before I graduated, and I had literally, it was like the last 2-3 weeks of school, and I had just buried my grandmother, and the very next day that I got back, I was in a car accident with someone that I was close to, and it was crazy because I was injured pretty bad. I had missed school already due to burying my grandmother in Florida, so I really couldn't miss any more school. And my face was all scratched up and I had a broken blood vessel in my eye. Like I just looked crazy. And the weird part about it was I was senior class president and I had to speak at my graduation. And my graduation was 2 days before my 18th birthday. So the timing of everything just couldn't have been like any worse than it was, really. It was just a really like rough time for me. Like a lot was going on at once. That was actually the worst year of my life thus far. A lot of chain reaction of bad things happened. So at the time, my grandmother had dementia, Alzheimer's, and she lived with me and my mom. So we were taking care of her, and then she was retired, so she wanted my mom to take care of her full time. So that was the case. And when my grandma died, like a whole
entire life shifted
and crazy things just started like happening, and it seemed like my life was just like falling apart right before my face. Now mind you, I had been spoiled my whole life, and then all of a sudden it's
bam, okay,
you're stressed out and it's about to be a whole lot going on. So my mom actually called my dad to tell him that I was in that bad car accident, and he called a week later. She left him a voicemail. Like he called a week later and was like, you called or whatever. The whole thing was just like, it was really weird. He really didn't care, and she's like, yeah, like she was in a bad car accident. I was just trying to let you know what was going on, blah, 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 blah. And he's just kind of like, oh, okay, well, you're alive. That's great. Like, whatever. So this is like a week before my graduation. He knew about my graduation date since the beginning of senior year when I first found out whatever our graduation date was going to be. So I had gave him like super early notice of it. So literally the day before my graduation, I get a phone call from my stepmom, and she's like, hey, what are you doing? And I said, I'm getting ready for my graduation. And she's like, when is it? And I'm like, it's tomorrow. Like, oh my God, I didn't know. Your dad didn't tell me anything about it. Did he know? And I'm like, yes, he knew the whole time. Oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm going to send you a box of stuff for your graduation. And mind you, I was senior class president, right? So my dad actually never came to my graduation, which was
crazy.
I was supposed to have a nice birthday / graduation trip gift or whatever, like for my 18th birthday. We were supposed to go to New York because at the time I wanted to go to college in New York, and he said that we could have possibly toured my colleges up there for fashion, and just like base it all around a birthday / graduation celebration, and we can just be in New York and he could show me around because he used to live there, blah blah whatever, and I love New York, all this stuff. And then boom, he never even came to my graduation at all. Like, I never even got this birthday / graduation trip, any of that. That was just like the beginning of like the weird vibes. Like, I don't know, it kind of just like started the beginning of like the weird vibes. Since my grandmother had passed and my life like dramatically changed, I was moving. We ended up moving out of the place that we lived, and it got rough. Like, it got real rough, and I had a quick reality check about life. Like, and everything that I once had, like, all of that changed severely. So I had to figure it out, and I ended up like roommating with one of my like closest friends, and she was kind of helping me out while I was just going through like this tough time of all this crazy stuff happening to me at once. And I'll never forget, like, one day she sat with me, and I was like, dude, like, I don't even have any like income coming in right now. My cell phone's about to get turned off. Like, it's rough. It's rough right now. Like, it's really bad right now. And so it was crazy. Like, I said, I don't know what else to do. And she's like, well, why don't you just call your dad? And I was cringing because I really didn't want to ask him for anything. Really, quite honestly, I was in a position to be able to, ask my dad. My dad was extremely wealthy, so me asking to pay for, to keep my cell phone on for 1 month, like, could have been absolutely nothing to him. I just knew that he used to give me the third degree about me asking him the smallest things, which is crazy because I really never liked asking him for anything. I muster up the courage, and I pick up the phone, and I call my dad, and he's like, hey, real dry on the phone or whatever. I started crying. I'm like, it's like really rough right now for me, and I'm like staying right now with my friend, and I don't have any money. Like, I'm trying to get a job right now. It's just really hard. A lot is going on, like, and the only thing I'm asking is there any way, even if I have to borrow it, like, is there any way that you can keep my phone on for me for this month, because I don't have the money, and my cell phone bill is about to go out, and I really don't know when I'm going to get the money. And if that's the case, like, you really won't have a way to contact me if you need to reach me right now. So he did this really long dry like pause on the phone, and then he goes, well Lily, I can't help you like right now.
Like, what am I supposed to do?
And I'm like, what are you supposed to do? Like, he didn't even feel bad at all. Like, you could just hear like this really dry like tone in his voice, and he's just like, okay, like, and like, you need money to keep your cell phone on, like, why are you calling me for? Like, I'm just like, wow. So mind you, it took everything in me to even call this man. I didn't even want to call him. It made me feel this big. I never felt so degraded in my life. I was just like, and why did I call him? Like, why did I even call him? Like, this is exactly why I never wanted to call him in the first place. It made me so mad. It pissed me off so bad. So I literally like cringed, and I just cried on the phone, and I was like, you know what? Never mind. Thanks anyways. Like, and I just got off the phone. Now, my dad was always like funny acting about stuff that like my stepmom would do with me. Like, sometimes she would take me and like go get my hair and my nails done, and we would do like girls' day stuff, and we would come to the house, and I'd be all excited like, oh daddy, like, you like my hair? And he would be like, oh, so you guys went to the hair salon? Like, instead of saying like, oh, I like your hair, like, he would find something negative to say first. Like, well, I like it looks nice, but you really didn't like it for real. Like, you just wanted to say something negative first. So I'm like, oh my God. But, when my brothers were born, it wasn't like that. Whatever they asked for, most of the time they got, like, and it wasn't really a big deal. And then the small little things that I would actually be like, can I have whatever, be like something specific that I really like wanted, and they would just get whatever. Like, it didn't even matter what it was, they would just get it. And I would get like the third degree. I'll never forget, we were in Vegas for my Sweet 16. It's crazy because while we were there, my dad's like, oh, we're in Fashion Show Mall, like, I'm gonna go to the ATM, I'm gonna take some money out. And this mall is so
freaking big, y'all.
I didn't know how to get around in it. Like, I didn't know anything about the mall. I didn't know what stores was there. I didn't know anything. And he goes, well, you have like an hour and some change to like spend your money, or, you know, I'm taking the money back. Like, what? Like, so we're walking in stores and I'm like trying to like speed shop and look at stuff, and this mall is like 10 times the size of a normal mall. He's like, well, are you getting something in here or not? And I'm just kind of like, I don't know. Like, it was so overwhelming. And I'm like, who does this? Like, this is crazy. So then I told him, this was so long ago, y'all. So at the time, iPods were like the big thing. So all I wanted was an iPod so freaking bad. And mind you, me and my brothers are a 7 and 9 year age gap. So my brother's all excited, like, oh, we should go get her an iPod then. Like, we go to the Apple store. So we go to the Apple store. And we get in there, and my brother, like, knows all this stuff about iPods or whatever.
My little brother.
Like, telling me, like, oh, you should get this one, you should get this one. So while we're in there, I'm looking, trying to pick which one I really like. I didn't know, so I'm, like, really in there shopping. Then my dad, he's like,
I have a question, like, do you even have a computer at home?
And I said, I have the same computer that you bought me
years ago, and I told
it kept freezing on me, and there was issues with it, and it was like really dated, and I couldn't use it anymore. Technically, I didn't have an up-to-date computer, and mind you, my dad is like the electronic dude. Like, anything new that comes out, like, he has it. He's like really big on electronics. If he's gonna spend money on something, electronics is like at the top of his list of things that he's gonna stay up to date on. So I've got this really old, like, heavy, thick, old school computer that people don't even use anymore at this time. And I told him year after year after year, like, Dad, my computer doesn't work back at home. Like, it's freezing all the time. Like, it just sits there. I don't know what to do with it. Mind you, he's gone through like a million computers since the time he's given me the computer, and I told him about it. And so he's like, well, if you get an iPod, like, how are you going to put music on it if you don't have a computer? And I said, well, at the time I was at my godbrother's house like all the time. And I said, well, I can just go to his house and download my music. Like, when I make CDs and stuff, like, that's where I download music. And then he's like, well, I don't even think that's a good idea, because if you download your music on his computer and you want to go somewhere else and download it, like, it's going to wipe all your music off clean. And I'm just like, but I'm looking at him like, what does that have to do with you? Like, you asked me what I wanted for my birthday. The only thing I wanted was an iPod. Now you're sitting here talking me out of it, like you don't want me to get it, and you're irritated that we're here, which I don't even understand why, because nobody even did anything to you. So here's the kicker. So my little brother, he's like, at the time, I think he was like 7, right? 7 years old. And he goes, by the way, they call me by my middle name. He's like, well, Lily, that's fine. Like, if Daddy doesn't want to get you your iPod, like, you can have my old one.
What?
He was like, I broke one of them and then I lost my other one, but you can have one of mine. I look at my dad and I'm like, oh wow, so he's had like multiple iPods, like, and he's 7.
Like, seriously?
And then he looked at my brother like he was so mad, like on fire that he even mentioned something like that. And I just said, you know what, it's fine, like, don't worry about it. I don't even want it anymore. Like, never mind. I'm cool. Like, and then he was so like happy that I didn't want to be in the Apple store anymore. Like, and my dad is like an Apple fanatic. So I was just like, wow, okay, like, I can already see what this is. Like, I just don't understand. And it wasn't like he had a bad bond with my mother. I don't know if it was because I was like the first child, the one that was born out of wedlock. Like, I don't know. Like, I really don't know. I'm the child of someone that he's not with, and now he's married.
I really do not know.
I don't know. I just know it was like once I turned 18, I get before that. Like, once I turned like 17, it was like they wrote me off. Like, okay, she's old enough now. Like, she can fend for herself, whatever. And I was like an honor roll student. I never got in trouble. Nothing. Like, I was like your ideal type of daughter that you would want to have as far as like school was my whole life growing up. Like, I was very mellow, chill, like well behaved. Like, I was a great kid, and I'm not here tooting my own horn, but it's true. So I'm like, why is it that I'm getting treated like this? I don't even understand. Like, I haven't even done anything to make me, like, why are y'all making me feel like this? Like, that this relationship that I had, like, with my stepmom was like a facade until I turned like 17, and she could be like showing her true colors or whatever. And then I feel like my dad was very chill and mellow like me, but my stepmom used to push down her disciplinary ideas on me, on like the way that I need to be
Raised.
Because my dad really didn't know what to do, like, as far as like raising me. He just kind of figured it out. Oh no, it was just like beyond me. Like, once I turned 17, it was like, whoop, whatever, girl, like, figure it out. So I know now that looking at the way that I function with people, and like when people try to do stuff for me, it's weird, because in relationships, I had not even just relationships, like people too, but it's more like, it's more obvious in relationships. Sometimes, since then, like, if someone wants to do something for me, like, or be like, do you want this, or like, can I get you this? Like, even if I want it, I always say no. Like, I just say no. And it's just before where people be like, well, you know, it's fine, like, you can say yes, like, it's cool. But that was instilled in me, like, because I swear to God, I never wanted to feel like that again. The way my dad made me feel, like, when I mustered up the courage to ask him something I actually needed, and he played me like he had no idea, like, nah, whatever, like, I can't help you. I'm just like, wow, that's just so crazy to me. So when I turned, well, let's see. Yeah, when I had my son, he got weird about, like, talking to me. And, you know, before my son was born, I did have a conversation with him one day, because every time I talked to him, it was like me trying to reach out to him. So if I didn't call him every couple of months, I can't even tell you how long will go by without me hearing from him. And one day I was like, Dad, I don't know why, but I just feel like if I don't call you, like, you don't even call and check up on me and see if I'm okay, like, what's going on with me or whatever. And he got, like, real defensive on the phone and was like, well, I can't call you every day, and I'm super busy. And I'm like, well, I'm not asking you to call me every day. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not trying to ask you to call me. Like, I just want you to check on me here and there, because I call you and check on you, and like, I am your child. You should be wondering how my well-being is. I just think that's crazy. He got kind of mad and defensive about it. And I mean, after that, he didn't talk to me for a while, but we did speak again. We spoke here and there, and I tried to be the bigger person, and I called him again, and I would check on him. And then, let's see, like, my son, when my son was born, he only bought one thing pertaining to, like, me having a baby, and that was, he never once asked me after I told him I was pregnant. He never once said, you know, once G's birthday passed, I'm gonna send you something. He sent, like, a box of, like, clothing that came from, like, this company that he actually worked for, so I'm pretty sure he got it for free. And he sent a couple of baby books, like a teething ring and something else. That's the only thing he has ever bought for my children, period. And at the time my daughter wasn't even born, He never asked me, like, do you need anything? Is there anything you didn't get at your baby shower? Like, is there anything that you wanted really bad? He never asked me anything like that. And my dad
is very wealthy, like, so it's just
crazy because people that don't even have much were doing so much for, like, me having a kid and, like, helping out and just, you know, being thoughtful about it or whatever. And I just think that was just so crazy. But I'm like, you know what? I don't need you to do nothing for me. Like, it's cool. I just think it's crazy. Like, this is your first grandchild and you're not even, like, excited about it. Like, and that's why when I got pregnant with my daughter, like, I just never even mentioned it to him. And I still to this day have not talked to him about it. And it's cool. I reached out and got in communication with my brother that was born after me, and he's in the Air Force right now. So I knew that I hadn't seen him in so long. The last time I saw my brothers, they were literally 5 and 7, and now they're pretty much both adults now. It's just crazy and it's sad, but I mean, it's true. I missed out on so much of their lives of them just being, like, really distant with me. And I did love my brothers, like, and it's just something that I was robbed of, and I'll never be able to, like, get it back. And I don't really have much of a relationship with them anymore. Kind of like, no, it doesn't. Kind of, it bothers me, like, it really does. But you know, I reach out to my brother now and I keep in touch with him and I send him photos and let him know what's going on with my life and stuff. But we really don't talk because it's kind of like an awkward conversation to have. And really, quite honestly, like, I don't even know what my dad and my stepmom have told my brothers as they got older. Like, I'm not around and, like, why they don't talk to me. I really don't know. Like, it's a weird topic to discuss, but it's something that I've been, like, curious about. I just feel like, I just tell people all the time, I'm like, my relationship with my dad is really crazy, and it's, like, still an open door for me that I really don't have an answer to. Like, I have no closure. I just don't know. I really don't know. And the only way that I ever know what's going on with my dad is me keeping in touch with his dad. So my grandpa is almost 100. And I talk to him and check on him all the time. And I just get updates from him, like, about what's going on with my dad. And he really doesn't talk to him that often either. It's crazy, but it is what it is. I don't know, like, I think that, you know, I'm more than willing to be the bigger person and really, like, try to have a relationship, like, but, I mean, if I never talk to my dad again, like, it's just something that I've already accepted. Like, it is what it is, and it's really nothing I can do about it, but it's cool. I've learned to overcome my mindset that I have about it. I used to be so angry about it. I used to be like, I don't care, and blah, 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 my dad this and my dad that. But my thing is, like, it just makes me look at life very different. Like, now I'm just like, you know what? I would never do that to my kids. So that's something that I know that I strive for, that I would never do to my kids. I would never want to make them feel like that. I would never want to try to abandon them, like, and just because I turned 18, like, I'm always going to be your child, and that's the crazy part. Just because I'm an adult doesn't mean that I ever stop being your daughter. And I feel like if it is based off of influence from my stepmom, I feel like that's even crazier, because there are women in this world where they deal with men who are not in their children's lives, and they know they're not. But I feel like if you're the type of woman that's gonna deal with a man that you know is actively not trying to be in their children's life, then what kind of woman are you? Because I could never be in a relationship with a man where if we don't have kids together and he has children before me, and I know that he's not doing his part as far as being a dad, it doesn't sit well with me. I would be like, you need to fix that. You know, like, those are not my kids, but I would never, would you want to get treated like that? Like, that's just crazy to me. And for women to just be like, oh yeah, he has kids, like, okay, like, is he in their life? Well, no, not really. And, like, you're cool with that? You shouldn't even be okay with that. So if it is influence like that, that makes her just even more worse. Like, knowing that my dad is not in my life and her being okay with it and not trying to make him do something about it. Like, I just think that whole situation is crazy. And I know that some people can relate. I mean, if you have your dad in your life, if your dad is alive, if your dad gives a little bit of effort, if you just have a dad, period, or you have a man that's in your life that is like your father, you have to cherish it. Because I have father-like figures in my life, but my actual dad walks this earth and is a very wealthy man and does nothing for me. And I don't need him to do stuff financially for me. That's not what I'm saying. It's just a void that's like not filled in my life because my dad, and it hurts more because for you to have your dad in your life and then it just seems to be like snatched away from you all of a sudden, like it leaves you like distraught, and it's like abandonment issues and crazy stuff like that. So it's like, it's something that I'm like still learning to like heal from. I feel like I'm in a way better space about it than I was years ago. But also I'm still kind of like numb to it too. Like, and being numb to messed up situations is never like fulfilling, but I mean, it is what it is. Pretty sure that I need therapy for it. I feel like that would be beneficial for me if I did something like that, because it's something that I don't talk about too often. Like, sometimes I do. I feel like I needed to get this off my chest. And if my dad or anybody that's associated with my dad like watches this video, like, just know that I don't have any resentment in my heart from my dad, and I just, as messed up as it is, like, I forgive you even if you never talk to me again. And that's just me trying to be the bigger person about the situation, and it is what it is. But I mean, if you reach out to me and you want to build something again, I'm willing to do that, but I just have to let it go. I just have to let it go, because if not, I will just block so many blessings that I deserve, and instead of just holding like anger and resentment in my heart, like, I'm just letting the situation go. So this is me telling the world that I officially am letting it go. I'm letting it go. And my dad, the last update about my dad, I saw that he left corporate America and now he is running his own business, and he moved to Colorado, and he lives in this giant, humongous house that's worth like $1.3 million. And wishing you the best, like, whatever. I mean, it's crazy, it's surreal, it's like really crazy, like, to know that your stepmother has been on the Oprah show, your dad lives in a $1.3 million house, and here I am living a normal middle-class citizen life, single mother raising 2 kids, like, and just trying to get it how I live, hustle until I get there. But I will say that knowing that I have done what I've done and lived the life that I live, and I have what I have because of my own grind, I will say that it motivates me every day to one day be able to get all the things and manifest everything that I want in my life that I strive for, and to turn and look and see my dad and talk to him one day and be like, yeah, look, like, this is what I have, like, and I did it without you. As much as you didn't believe in me, like, I did it, like, so what? So, I mean, like I said, I'm letting it go. I'm not gonna carry the negative energy that's revolved around it, but your girl is gonna use it as ammo for motivation, because I am big on just trying to push myself, like, and I am just learning every day how to cope with a whole lot of things going on in my life, and I just try to remain positive all the time. even when it's like, woo, having a crazy day, but hey, we're gonna figure it out. Okay. So, I mean, to all the women out there that are fatherless, because I'm trying to tell you that if you are fatherless, or you have a terrible father, or you have a dad that's in and out of your life, or you don't even know who your dad is, or maybe you're adopted, or whatever the case is, like, do not let it hold you back. Don't let it hold you back. Like, you are strong and you can figure it out. Like, if anything, use it for the motivation that you need to become whatever it is that you want to be, which is what I'm trying to explain about me. Like, I never got anywhere feeling angry and mad about the situation with my dad, and here I am turning it all around, flipping the energy, and I'm just here to let you know, like, you don't need it. Like, having a great father is a great foundation. It's something to have in your life, and it's something that I strived for. And I wanted that bond. Like, you know, I used to be envious of girls that had that relationship with their dad. It was something that I never really had a strong bond of, even when he was in my life. So with that being said, I just, like, I always looked at it from the opposite side of, like, oh, I don't have that, and oh, I wish I had that, and see, that's not fair. But instead, I'm like, you know what, it's fine. Like, that's a beautiful thing, and if you have it, hold on to it, be happy for it, be grateful about it, because that's a blessing to be able to really have your dad in your life, especially if you have a loving father. Like, you need to hold on to your dad, hug your dad every day, tell him that you love him. Like, all of that is so important. Women have so many issues based around stuff that is like involved with their father type of situation. Like, some women, they grow up and they sleep with a million men, or they look for these qualities in these horrible men because they didn't have a father to show them the right way. Or sometimes it's the opposite, or you gravitate towards men that are like your father. If you have a good father, like, a lot of women grow up and they end up trying to pick a man that is similar to their dad. That's just normal. So, I mean, dads are important. If you're watching this video and you're a dad, I need you to realize how important your role is in your child's life. That is so important. Like, be the best dad that you possibly can be. That doesn't mean, like, you have to have all the money in the world or whatever. Like, love your kids.
Love your kids with everything in you.
Hug them, kiss on them, show them the right way, guide them, tell them your mistakes. Like, let them know what it really is, because, I mean, we're just lost out here. We're lost. We're lost until you point us in the right direction, or we have to go through a whole bunch of experiences before we figure out life. But dads, if you know better, like, teach your children. Teach your children is so important. I'm not going to talk forever, but I just want to say that, you know, my dad is a millionaire, and right now he is a deadbeat millionaire. And here I am, still a strong woman, figuring my life out, and I will overcome the struggle. And hopefully one day I'll be making a video with a new recap explaining to y'all that maybe I got in touch with my dad and maybe we started a new relationship or a new bond from the ground up. I don't know, and if I don't, then it's fine. Like, it's okay. It's okay. I have accepted it for what it is, and it's cool. But like I said, for the women out here that don't have the father figures, it's all right, because you can find yourself and you can still be a good woman and be the best that you can be without having a dad. If you are a dad, then be the best dad that you possibly can be. I'm not gonna hold y'all no more. I just wanted to give y'all a portion of, you know, what's going on with me and my dad and my daddy issues. And you know what? Maybe in story times, I will tell y'all about a lot of weird things that happened with me growing up, like being around my dad and him putting me in awkward situations where sometimes I didn't feel loved. And I'll explain it. And really, quite honestly, like, I don't know how I don't have, like, crazy psychological issues from some of this stuff. I think it's because I was raised around a great mother, and a great village raised me outside of my dad. So I think, I mean, there's good that comes from the times that he was in my life, but then it's also like a huge blank slate of like other opportunities and stuff that me and my dad never got to do or experience just because of him being absent and just kind of like falling out of my life, and I don't really know why. So not gonna hold y'all, but if you are still watching this video, please make sure that you comment down in the comment section, like this video, please subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna apologize again. My content came in so late because I was having issues with recording and also issues with editing, but I just got something new where I'm able to record and edit on the same thing now, so we should be good, and I should be able to upload content all the time now. So I'm sorry about that long delay from my very first video till now, but if you're having daddy issues or you experience something crazy daddy related, or tell me about what your dad is to you. Like, is your dad this abandonment type of situation, or do you have a great dad? And like, tell me all the things that you love about your dad. So comment down in the section, drop a comment in the comment section and let me know what your dad is like. And stay tuned and watch my next video. Thank you guys. Peace out.